Hey, good morning, Internet fans. It's Ryan Perry with Simple Biz Support. It's Thursday, it's Internet Marketing Thursday. Therefore, I have Virginie Dorn with Business Website Center in Petaluma. And yes, Virginie, I forgot my name too, so I just put it down there at the bottom of the screen. So feel free as you're talking to click your buttons and put your name in there.
I can't find it. Anyway, my name is Virginie. I'm glad to be on board with you today. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It must be sunny outside because the window blinds are open. Well, yours are open, not mine.
Yes, I
Yes.
can't complain. A little bit of rain last night, but now it's nice and clear. So,
Yes. Should be a beautiful day. Last week we talked specifically, we really talked about MailChimp and Constant Contact. I think we were pretty much in agreement that MailChimp was out of those two. MailChimp was kind of the preferred way of going for the basic user. And then we also talked about some advanced systems such as Infusionsoft, which is much more than just email automation. And the other thing that we talked about was actually creating your own custom um, email program, much like MailChimp, where you actually have a template, you can put information in, you can select different databases on who you want to send emails out to. And I think a lot of times, any business owner, regardless of how big or small your business is, whenever you hear custom, you automatically think ka-ching, 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 and this is really going to cost me a lot of money, and therefore it's not affordable. And so we were talking off air, and the fact is, it sounds like it's very affordable. What that price point is, or where that even point is going to really be dependent on each company, depending on how many people they have, how many times they send emails. But if you have thousands and thousands of emails that you're sending out on a monthly basis, the basic plans for MailChimp or Constant Contact go from very inexpensive in the beginning, 20 bucks a month or so, to a couple $100 to $500, $1,000. So at some point, it does become cost effective to actually build your own email system. So why don't you talk about that a little bit, since it's something that you've done for clients yourself?
yes, having a custom email marketing campaign inside your own content management system is a great option for people who already have a database in their CMS. And by this, I mean maybe they run a membership website, so they have thousands and thousands of members, or they have an e-commerce website, so they have lots of buyers that have created accounts in order to purchase items on their site. So that database is on their website, it's hosting, and also in their content management system. And they don't have to go elsewhere and update that contact list. They can stay with their own website, log in, and send an email directly from their own server. What works well uh, is that because it's, again, you don't have to update the data. The data is as fresh as it can be because you're on your own CMS. Is you can customize it any way you want. You can have your programmer customize a template that looks identical to your website. You can customize maybe a different types of campaign per season. And then it's easy for you to just go there, open a template that you like, that looks just like your website, fill in the fields, and decide who to send that email to based on your database. Maybe anybody then bought shoes and then also bought t-shirts. So you could check mark the little categories you want, and it will email only those individuals.
Okay. Now, because I'm sure I scared half the audience out there when I mentioned custom, and everybody's going, this is going to be horribly expensive. Can you give us just like a general ballpark range of what an email system, a custom email system might run?
Sure. Typically, you're looking at about $3,000 for a standard email campaign system integrated into your website. That's assuming you have a strong website with new code. I mean, if you're looking at an old site that was done 10 years ago, then your webmaster will have to rebuild the website to support that type of technology. So again, it depends on the age of your website. But $3,000 gives you something you get to own. It doesn't have any maintenance fees. It's yours to keep. becomes an asset for your company as well. So whenever you want a business loan, your website with that new functionality has a value. And I've had clients use their website as an asset for their company, therefore being able to get the larger business loans. Just as a side note. But if you are doing, for instance, I don't know, let's say you have 300,000 members, and it could be a simple membership website that has lots of members. If you're going with MailChimp, which is one of the most affordable and easy to use third-party email system, we're still looking at $1,500 a month to have that many subscribers. So $1,500 a month, after 2 or 3 months, you have paid for the cost of something, then you won't have to pay again for. And
Right.
that programming is good for many, many years, especially if it's done well.
Sure, and if you look at it even from the lower end, if you're paying $100, a lot of times people look at return on investment within 2 to 3 years. If I can justify paying for that and I can recoup it, and I plan on being in business a long time, even at $100, if you're paying $100 a month, in 3 years that's $3,600. And
Yes.
so it's paid for itself. If you're paying 150, 200, that time frame for that return on investment is very quick. And so that's the part I think that really surprised me. And it's one of those things, you just assume that Constant Contact, who has this huge database, this huge company, is going to be able to keep the cost down for you, and that it would be prohibitively expensive to have something custom done. And I think the other thing that's important that you said is that once the code's, the base code is built and you've got a couple of templates made, there really isn't any maintenance that needs to be done to it. So there isn't really any ongoing cost. And then, of course, my other concern is like, okay, well, let's say I'm sending out 10,000 emails or even just 5,000 emails every single month with spam laws, with all those other issues. Is your hosting company going to allow you to send that type of volume, or are they going to black flag you and say, whoa, 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 you're obviously spamming because you're sending out so many emails out of your account? So what's kind of the rules, I guess, when it comes to how many emails you can send and what your hosting company will allow you to do?
That's a great question. It depends on your hosting provider. If you have someone like GoDaddy or HostGator, typically on their cPanel server, which are their newer servers, they average about 500 email per hour that they like to process if you're on a shared account. So those are usually the very cheap hosting, $8 or less per month. So it's not like it's going to stop you. So if you have 10,000 emails to send, it's just going to send 500 at a time every hour until it's done. So you're not restricted. So if you have a large database, it might take you a few days, but it's not a bad idea. You don't want everybody hitting your website anyway at the same time. And even MailChimp and Constant Contact don't send all your email at once. You can actually see the progress. If you're on their dashboard, it will tell you, 1,000 sent, and then nothing, and then 2,000 sent. It's showing you that they're not doing it right at the same seconds because their server can't even handle that. So again, it depends on your server. If you're a very large company, you can afford your own dedicated server, you can do a digital or virtual server with, again, GoDaddy, Bluehost. Any of those companies offer those services, and that made dedicated server much more affordable. They range from $100 to $400 a month. And with that kind of servers, you pretty much have no limit to what you can do. It's like owning your own computer with a hosting company. Of course, it has to be set up by an IT person, but once you're set, it's done. Still will be more affordable than paying a third-party email campaign company.
Right, and that 100 to 400 that you talked about, that's not just for an email campaign. That's also for hosting your website. And if you're generating that type of volume through email, you probably have a lot of visitors going to your website, so you're going to need a more robust server anyhow for your website, right?
Yes, otherwise your hosting company is going to flag you or charge you more for bandwidth, or it's going to, if they don't do that, it's going to slow down your website. So the 1,000th person on the site is going to be stuck. The server slowdown. So yeah, at that level, you need your own dedicated server, and the company that we're referring to, they would know that too.
Right. Okay. And then let's shift gears a little bit from some of the technical back-end stuff to the actual end user interface. When you're building out something custom, you need to create a custom template. I'm assuming that's part of the initial cost. Obviously, if people want different templates, maybe seasonal type of templates, something for Christmas, something for fall, all of that can be added on for an additional cost. It really isn't that much more. But from the actual end user's interface, they're going to log in, and I'm used to Constant Contact, MailChimp, that back end. So is it just a matter of filling out the title, filling out the body, and then picking which database you want to mail to? Is it that simple?
Yes, it's as simple as the site owner wants it to be. For people that send a newsletter, for instance, we like to create a pre-made newsletter template. And all they have to do is fill out the field, the titles. This is where you put a photo. This is where you put text. This is where you put a testimonial. It's just a bunch of field boxes the site owner can fill out very easily. They can preview it. We can even add a function that will automatically PDF that new email template, so you can post that PDF. So you can send the email. It looks like your regular monthly newsletter, but at the same time you can generate a PDF from your CMS that automatically goes into a certain landing page that archives all the newsletter. So that's one extra step a custom programmer could do for you. So you can just, very simple, everything is done for you. All you have to do is enter the content of your newsletter and then select who you want to send it to. Do you want to send it to all your active members? Do you want to send it to past members to try to entice them back into your system? So it's very cool. It has no limit to what it can do. It's based on what the site owners want and what their business goal is.
Right. And then speaking of custom programming and those type of things, what about data merge for, say, websites that are actually selling a product and maybe they just bought, a black pair of shoes? Is there a way of data merging something that would send an email out that would say, hey, thanks for buying your black pair of shoes. By the way, we just got this new pair of black shoes in today.
Yes, so if you have a custom email campaign inside your own CMS, you don't even need to merge any data. It's automatically done for you. When you use MailChimp, you'll have to tell it to put Dear Joe, mail merge the email, mail merge maybe you're sending username and password to all your members. But in your your own CMS, whatever mail merge you want is already in place. Does it make sense? But you could create more.
Well, because you're saying that the database, your MailChimp, you're in a separate database from your website that you're collecting information in. By combining those two together, now what I want to know is if, let's say, I'm selling shoes, one, I should be able to, there's that default email that says, hey, Betty, thanks for buying your black pair of shoes. They're on their way. But what if I get a new shipment of black shoes that are similar to these other black shoes that I've been selling? I go, hey, I want to send an email out to everybody that's bought this style of black shoes because I think they're going to like this new one. So yes. Can we can mail merge or database merge those two together so that the email only goes to, let's say, in the last 6 months, a year, whatever it is.
Yes, it's all possible. So, dear Susie, thank you for buying the boots. Just to let you know, we have a new style of sandals available for you. And yes, absolutely possible. Just, again, the same functions that MailChimp and Constant Contact have, you can have in your own content management system.
Right. And I think the key thing there, though, is because the database is all in one place now, it's very easy to access that information. There's no export, import, or anything like that. All right, perfect. All right, well, very good. If people have questions, interests, comments about how to build, create a custom email program, what's the best way of getting a hold of you, Virginie?
Well, they can email us 24/7. So the email is info, I-N-F-O, at petalumawebsite.com. Petaluma is where the town we're in, Petaluma, website WEBSITE, or they can call us at Pacific Standard Time here, so it's 707-794-9999. I will be open.
All right, Virginie. Well, that is our time for today. As always, I appreciate your time. And, I think a lot of people, if they understood the cost value of actually integrating their own email system into their website, would be very interested in doing so. I can just see if you're spending $100 or more a month, it seems like it would be a smart idea to at least consider.
Yes.
All right. Well, have a great day. It's always a pleasure. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.